This one's a little bit difficult today. Stay with me. We're going to do this. We want to factor trinomials, which is similar to what we did last week, only now our A term is going to be something other than 1, which makes things a lot more involved than it was last week. That's okay. I listed out 6 steps to solve all of these, and we're going to go through each of those steps nice and slow, and hopefully this won't seem too terrible. All right, so first thing we do every time, assuming we have it written in the right form, ax squared plus bx plus c, we're going to multiply our first and last numbers together. So I'm going to say, what is 2 times 45? And that is 90. Okay, that's it. First step. That's all we do. Okay. Our second step, this is very similar to what we did last week. I want 2 numbers that multiply to 90 that also add up to 19. So that should sound pretty familiar. So I'm going to make my table here. Again, you don't have to do this. Factors of 90, and then there's sum. Okay, so I know everything is positive, so I know my factors are going to be positive, so I know one pair of factors is 1 times 90. But that adds up to 91, which is not 19, so I keep going. I know 2 times 45, but that adds up to 47. Getting closer though. You don't need to list all of these. 3 times 30, especially some of these you don't get till the very end. 4 times 4 is not a factor of 90. Sorry. 5 times 18 is 90, but that adds up to 23. And I also put a little calculator to that lists out all the pairs of factors, because I think this is sort of tedious, and some of these numbers they give you are kind of big. But if you want to do this by hand, don't let anyone stop you. So 6 times 15, that adds up to 21. I'm getting close, almost there. Last pair is not 8, LOL. 9 times 10. Whoops, which adds up to 19. That's what we want. So here are our 2 factors, 9 and 10. Okay? So our third step now, we want to rewrite the equation. We want to split up this 19x into 9x and 10x. So I'm just going to write down my equation. So 2x squared, only instead of 19x, I'm going to call it 9x plus 10x plus 45. Okay? So there's 2 ways we can write this. We can either put 9x plus 10x, or we can put 10x plus 9x. And this next step is going to tell us if we did this correct or not. So it says I want to factor the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. And we want the same thing to be in both sets of parentheses. So if I'm looking at 2x squared and 9x, all I can factor out there is just an x. So this isn't going to work, right? I'll give you a hint. For all of these, you are going to want to factor out the coefficient of x squared. Okay, so I need to be able to take out that times 2. So this order that I put them in is not going to work. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to rewrite it. So I'm going to put 2x squared plus 10x plus 9x plus 45. Okay, and that way, now I can factor out, both of these have 2x, so I can factor that out. What's left over? If I take out 2x, I just have 1x on the left. 10x divided by 2x is just 5. Okay, so I just factored out these 2 terms, took the 2x out, still have x plus 5 in my parentheses. And then I do the same thing for the right. So 9x and 45, those have a 9 in common. So I know I can factor out a positive 9. And then what I'm left with, 9x divided by 9 is x, 45 divided by 9 is 5. Okay, here's the key. If we did this correctly, let's keep closing. These 2 amounts in the parentheses need to be exactly the same. Okay, if this did not happen, something has gone wrong, you need to go back. Okay, that's why we flip these around, because if I left it as this top equation, I would not be able to factor out and have x plus 5 in both sets of parentheses. So you're going to have to think a little bit. You might end up factoring and be like, oh, this isn't right. I got to switch my order. of my two middle terms. Okay, it happens as the more you practice it, the more hopefully that'll make it'll go a little bit quicker. You'll start to see the patterns we're looking for. Okay, almost there. Last big step. So just want to factor everything on the outside. So we have x plus 5 and x plus 5. So we can actually factor out the rest. So I'm going to take 2x plus 9. And I'm going to put that in its own set of parentheses on the outside of x plus 5. Okay? And what we have there is we have our correct answer. What color I want to use for correct answer? Let's go with happy pink. So we box this off. This is what we're looking for. So we're not solving anything. I don't even care what the answer is. I just wanted to take this original expression and I just wanted to rewrite it. Okay, so I haven't done any real math. All I've done is just change what it looks like. And I know this seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but this is what algebra is all about, right? Algebra is about manipulating expressions and equations to make them look like whatever we want them to look like, okay? That's what we did. You did a great job. So now give yourself a pat on the back and you go to the next question, you do it all over again. Okay, if you get stuck, let me know. Good luck, you're gonna do fine.